Hello, 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 hello. How are you doing? I hope you are doing fantastic. Today, we have a new Primal Dragon to get hatching, and this is none other than your boy, Emerald Phantom. And Emerald Phantom was, of course, the main reward dragon from the latest treasure hunt event. We got lucky, and we managed to pull him on the 50-50. We came out on top this time. Maybe we won't next time. But this is the beautiful little Emerald Phantom. I think this is probably, from what I saw online, probably the favourite Primal for most people out of all of them that we've had. He's got the very pretty green flowing stuff coming out of his brain and his wings. You know, he's just very cute and he's got a lot of stuff going on. He is a Primal Shadow and Fire Dragon. And now, Primal Dragons as a whole aren't particularly useful in the dungeon. I would say they do have somewhat of a place in the arena and the map, although they are risky, but they're just not really suitable for dungeon stuff. But he does have that fire element, so it does depend on a few things. But anyway, this eerie primal emerges at night, haunting ancient burial grounds in search of interesting trinkets for its ghostly haunt. Stay far away from Emerald Phantom Dragons, or you'll end up as one of their possessions. So he's very much a ghostly being from that. But just look at how cute he is. I don't know what it is. It's just his eye, the little mouth. Look, he looks like he's kind of happy, but also kind of smirking in a way. I don't know. It's just, he's a very cute dragon, and I do like the animations coming off of him. I would say definitely a lot better than, say, Redjaw. I know a lot of people hated Redjaw. But Emerald Phantom here is definitely a very cute dragon. I'd almost be tempted to keep him in his baby form, but the adult form for Emerald Phantom is also pretty cool. Maybe at the start of next month we will babify him. I don't know. I never babify, but just in case you didn't know, you can babify for 1 gem on the 1st of each month. So, you know, if you're gonna babify any dragon, like, the adult form's cool, but the baby is very cute. But either way, this is adult form Emerald Phantom. You know, his arms are kind of iffy, but he's got that T-Rex sort of look. He definitely looks like he would rip your neck out from your body. And I like it. I like it. I do like the tail as well, and he doesn't appear to have any broken bodily effects, which is better than like 80% of the models now. So overall, yeah, thumbs up from me. Definitely one of the best looking dragons, I would say, that has been released in a long time. It just sucks that Treasure Hunt is still so much of a 50-50, but I guess we'll keep him. If one day I ever want to add a Primal to my team, I guess he'd be one that I'd want to add, but another Fire Dragon would be a bit much, but Shadow would be a unique element, and so would Primal. And if you have like 6 dungeon members and you've got low-level dungeon dragons, and so that means that you can, you know, have lots and lots of dragons on your team like some people do, then you could potentially fit him in, because again, fire is useful, and at the same time, you know, he is a nice looking dragon. So the other dragon that we actually have, ignore Brant, he will be coming probably tomorrow, but we have Petal as well, and I have actually hatched this dragon on my channel a very long time ago, but I believe I got Petal while I was still playing Android DML many moons ago. As in, I think I got Petal, I'm gonna guess, for like 3 to 4 years ago. But we finally got them on Windows, so that is a new dragon for me to actually hatch. So Petal Dragons love to chow down on flowers and plants. If you find one in your garden, this trainer recommends a gentle warming and a pat on the head to send it on its way. And Uban, the Petal Dragon here, if you are looking for some sort of dungeon dragon and you happen to get Petal and you don't have many epics, it may not have water or earth, but if you just needed some solid AoE, I say solid, but as solid as you can really get for an epic, then Petal's not too bad. It does have wind as its 3rd element, and that can be good in a sense because you can use that as a unique element. And the importance of unique elements doesn't become so obvious until you have to do things like castle events, and then it becomes incredibly obvious why it's important. So, I think Petal overall is actually a decent choice. A lot of people pick Foxglove as well, but I think Petal's okay if you just want a double AoE dragon. Generally I'd say use 2 healers, but you don't have to. But Petal, you know, kind of a weird head. Is it just me that thinks Petal has like a weird look to its brain? I don't know. Started to question me. You're looking a bit sus over there, Uban. Anyway, that is another new dragon for me. They both got thrown into that fire habitat so they can have their fun together. Nothing too weird though, that's what the breeding den's for. But, you know, we will be unlocking Drakkar very soon and in turn hatching our Brant dragon. So we were very successful with our dragon breeding for this week. You gotta remember though that since we are coming into the Divine event very soon, that's gonna mean that breeding as a whole is gonna be a lot more difficult because you're gonna be busy doing castle events or you're gonna be busy doing other stuff. And that means that your breeding den's probably gonna be full for the entire major Divine event. So, if anything, this is the time to be breeding things that you need right now before it starts. And speaking of which, you may have noticed when I actually open up my codex, but because we do have these dragons now, we've had 3 primal events, which does mean that in here we've also got Red Jaw, Fluorescent, and we've got Crimson, who are also in here, but we just can't see them anymore. But that also means that we've got some other primals that you can now see in the game. Because we did get the new update, it does mean that now the unlocking system of Dragon Collector points for elements is gone. Now instead it just looks like, well, garbage is in there instead, which is fine. But it is still here where at 7.8k, that's when you unlock epic sigils. To be honest, it's quite low, so I don't mind it being there. To use legendary sigils, that's at 14k. Yeah, as if someone with 14k Dragon Master points has legendary sigils. As if, is all I'm going to say about that. But I'm very happy that this is gone, which means that now all that you really need to focus on is getting the scrolls and upgrading your dragon's attacks. And honestly, the difference between level 5 and level 6 skills is gigantic. The difference between level 5 Bless and level 6 Mass Bless, I cannot even begin to describe how different it is. So, if you are a newer player that didn't have your level 6 upgrades unlocked because of the Dragon Collector milestones, go and get your stuff upgraded now before the new event begins. And on top of it, with that primal stuff that I was just mentioning, we do know that we have the new DOGGO coming. And this is supposed to be, they said, a sort of special version of the primal event, or the treasure hunt event. And we do know from a few different screenshots and when you check the update notes for the game that there's actually going to be some sort of influencer, pet influencer related event coming. So people are thinking, well, obviously the dog is going to be part of that. So maybe this new primal event we're getting is actually going to be related to some sort of pet influencers, which is going to be like the Show Your Paws events or the other events that we've had in the past, like the one that I was in. So we'll have to wait and see more details for that. There is also now a support Gameloft Twitter for anyone that is interested. I'm not going to show you that right now because it's a bit dire, to be honest. As in, it looked at the time when I checked it like they were ignoring everyone that was actually leaving comments. Well, they responded to like 2 of them and ignored the rest. So I don't know how successful that's going to be, or if it's mainly going to be DM related and they don't really want to deal with stuff publicly. But either way, if you are struggling to get a response in-game from the support people, it might be worth adding them on the Gameloft Twitter, and then maybe then someone can look into it, you know, get in contact with the DML Gameloft representatives, and then, You know, this is mainly for people that say, either you could just go straight to the Twitter, or if you've been ignored by Gameloft support for like 3 weeks, then you could just be like, hey, what's happening with this ticket? Like, can you deal with it? And then maybe they'll be more likely to actually see it and get it dealt with. You know, I'm actually in support of them moving part of the support stuff. Well, I guess they're not really moving it, they're just opening up a different channel. But Twitter support stuff actually can be managed well, but it depends on how they actually manage it. And you know, lots of people in DML, do you want to know what one of the most common things that I see people actually putting in support tickets for is? It's actually for account transfers, because like loads of people ask, oh, can I join your clan? Oh, can I add you as a friend? Blah 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 blah. The game isn't cross-platform, and a lot of people don't really realize this until later on, and lots of people say, how can I link my mobile to my PC DML? It's like, you can't. You actually can't do that. So, I think a lot of people, when they realize they can't do it, what they do is they say, okay, well, how do I transfer from PC to mobile? Because playing DML on PC is basically like having a form of horrific AIDS in a sense or another. And I agree. I do agree in many ways. It's just not really possible to log in very often when you play on PC if you are outside for more than like a few hours a day. So I understand. And it is very common. I've seen so many different people over the years and helped a lot of different people actually get their accounts transferred over, or at least putting in the support ticket is what I should say. And it can take a while. It could take a few weeks, it could take a week, it depends on a few different factors, but, you know. Let's see if the new Twitter stuff actually changes anything or not. I don't think it'll change too much about the whole process, to be honest, but maybe it will. Maybe we'll see some faster response times to some of the tickets, which I wouldn't suggest doing an account transfer mid any event really, because when they do that you will lose all of your progress, you'll lose all of your friends, you'll obviously lose your existing clan. Basically all of the social features when you transfer over, they get reset to nothing. So you have to start from scratch, and plus you will lose some game progress because they will have to take you a little bit back in time and then they will transfer that over to the new device, which means that if you do it when you're in the middle of an event, you're gonna lose event progress. And plus you probably won't be able to log in for a bit. So don't do it in the middle of the Divine event if you are going to do it. But at least, maybe now, if you weren't aware before, there is the ability to change over to a different device type. I mean, after all these years, we could just get to the same point as Dragon City, where they actually... Dragon City is cross-platform and cross-server. You know, that's why I so wish I could do the same thing in DML. Like, in DML, when I play this game, I have to basically only do it when I come home. And if I'm out for 12 hours a day, which I usually am, I miss out on 12 hours of being able to do anything. Log in for events. Whereas in DC, what I can do is I can log in at home in the morning, and then I can log in on my mobile at any time to the same account. Wow, it's crazy. I mean, that should be the norm, really, these days, but DML is very behind. But anyway, I didn't mean for this to turn into any sort of rant, even though it did. Genuinely, I just wanted to enjoy hatching new dragons, and a very cool dragon at that. But yeah, stay tuned for that new pet influencer stuff. Maybe we'll hear more about it very soon. But people really want to get their hands on the new doggo. I know that they do. They're like, I don't care if it's not a dragon, it's a dog. I want the dog. 100%, I understand. And could be interesting. Maybe we'll get some other new dragons as well. Maybe that'll be the other primals. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe they'll just be other epics. Either way, I want to see it. So I guess for now, I wish you the best of luck if you are doing any of your breeding and stuff. But I guess, stay tuned.